Are you struggling with slow sales on eBay? That's okay, because in this video, we're going to be learning how we can best optimize our eBay stores so that we not only get our items found in search, but with the intention that we can start generating more sales. And if you are new to the channel and you are meeting me for the first time, my name is Bo Johnson. I'm a full-time eBay reseller for the last 2.5 years, reselling men's and women's pre-owned clothing on eBay. And my goal with these types of videos is to really help beginner resellers go further faster by avoiding some of the mistakes that I made when I first started reselling, to hopefully avoid those mistakes and get your foot started on the right path. So today we usually reserve Wednesdays for eBay store reviews. And today we have a store lined up that where we're going to be talking about some of the basics, but all of these basics apply to whatever you're selling in your eBay store. What basics are we talking about? Well, we're talking about title, price structure, and how to find good items. Those three basic principles, I believe, can contribute to monumental success on eBay. And I know it's not some crazy strategy or it's not some hidden keys or hidden secret. It's really just those three things. It's writing correct titles, it's pricing your item correctly, and then filling our stores with items that are actually in demand. So it sounds easy, but it takes years to get good at and proficient at. I've been selling on 2.5 years on eBay, and I by no means am perfected it. I'm still learning every day, but my goal is to basically take what I've learned in the last 2.5 years and help you guys direct your path on your reselling journey. So if you have any questions also during any type of or any time of this live stream, whether it's personal or reselling related, I'm here to help you guys. I'm here to bring value in whatever that you need help with. And I really do think that these eBay store reviews can be helpful for anybody, because you guys can always go back into your listings and apply some of these tips that we're going to be talking about today. So the store that we're talking about in question is Holly's Hobby Shop. Very good. She reached out just a few days ago, signed up on the sign-up sheet to receive an eBay store review, and here we are talking about it. So what we look for in these store reviews to help better optimize your store is basically titles, pricing, the quality of the items, the sell-through rate in your store. Those are the things that are going to be really key to help you make progress as you continue to list. And from what I know, Holly reached out and I read her brief message, is that she's doing this while having a family and a full-time job. So that's okay, because eBay is awesome like that. You can do it on your own time. You can do it part-time. You can do it full-time. You can just do it when you want to. So, but also it's important to build this store up so it can eventually, if you want it to be a full-time thing, it can be. But we really need to get our right foot forward so we don't make a store full of mistakes. You don't want to have a store with thousands and thousands of items and you sell 3 items a day. So we want to be able to have the best items possible when we just start out. So Holly, no matter where you're at, that's great. You're starting. A lot of people have a hard time just starting, and that can be the hardest part. So you got a good banner going on. You have some good branding. That's great. You've sold 171 items, 100% feedback, and 533 items total. So yeah, I read your message and you said you had a bunch of little things in there. You had a bunch of books and whatnot, but I think that you're trying to niche down, which is great. Getting really proficient at the items that you do want to sell is going to help you better source the items that are actually in demand, like clothing. If you're getting into more clothing, men's and women's, and you start focusing on that more, you're going to just become a master in that area. So good job. But there's nothing wrong with being an everything seller. So don't kill me, because you can make a great living selling everything as well. So photos look good. I'm mainly looking at your clothing photos, but your Photos look good. Looks like you're using what you got, and that's what I suggest, especially beginner resellers. Don't go out and spend thousands of dollars on a photo setup. You do not need that. I'm telling you right now, I probably have $250 put into my photo setup, and I've been using it for the last 2.5 years and have listed 15, 20,000 items, clothing items, just using that photo setup. So you don't need an expensive photo station to start at all. So you're using what you got. That's great. Only thing I would suggest is in some of these photos is maybe try to get a little bit better lighting. That's all. And lighting is a tricky thing. You know, sometimes it can be too bright, sometimes it can be too dark, and that can really mess with the colors. But looks great. You do have a little bit of everything. You got M&Ms, you got books, DVDs, you got Morton Salt, vintage Morton Salt tin can. So, okay. So, first thing I like to look at when I'm checking out your guys' store, first thing I go through is the daily sell-through rate. I like to see how your daily sell-through rate is to be able to see how, like a ballpark view of, how many items you're selling a day is going to tell me, do you have good titles? Do you have good items? And are you pricing them correctly? So 1% sell-through rate generally is a great sell-through rate, especially for your first few thousand items. As you get into 3, 4, 10, 50,000 items in your store, it's going to be harder to obtain that 1% sell-through rate. I'd say for your first 1 to 2,000 items, if you can hit a 1% daily sell-through rate, you are crushing it. Great job. It also depends on what you're selling, right? But 533 items. Let's see what you're selling. So we'd love to see 5 a day, right? That's about 1%. So not quite there. You're about 3 a day. You've sold 114 items in the last 90 days, about 3 or 4 items a day, which is great. I mean, that's awesome. There's nothing wrong with that. You're selling what? 0.8% a day. That's great. So now let's look at what you've sold. Let's see. Your shipping price is crazy. I don't know. I'm pretty sure you're in the U.S., so I don't know why your shipping price is so expensive. Okay, it's maybe because I have my own settings changed here. Let's see. Yep. It says because I was in Australia. So United States, get rates. All right. There we go. All right. Still, I think shipping was a little crazy on that. You live in Ohio, and it says shipping to me is $14.90. That is a little bit expensive, and it's a nice dress, great dress. I would ship that usually in a flat rate envelope, USPS priority flat rate envelope, and I would charge $8.95, and then eBay would charge me $7.60 to ship that out. So being competitive in your shipping prices is going to be very helpful, especially when you're selling mall brand clothing. But maybe it was just for that dress. That's okay. You have some free shipping. You got $17.95 for that plush. You got bottle warmer for $18 shipping. Selling hard goods, yeah, your shipping price, you don't want to be in the hole on shipping, so it's good. But for mainly clothing, you want to stay, anything under 1 pound, you want to ship USPS Ground Advantage, and I charge $6.95 for that. And anything over a pound, like jackets, jeans, women's pants, sweaters, I'm going to be charging $8.95 a pound, and 90% of those items fit in a flat rate envelope, which ships for $7.60, or I could put it in a flat rate legal envelope, which is a little bit wider, so I'll have more room, and that would ship for $7.90. So that's the majority of how I do my flat rate shipping. But enough of the shipping. Let's look at some of your newest listed items so we could look at your title, your pricing, and so forth. So let's look at these Dockers. Books look good. Let's look at this Victoria's Secret tank top. So Titles can be a little challenging, especially if you're just starting out and you don't put much into it and you're just like, yep, I'm just going to write a title just how I want to. It's really important that you start with the brand first. I know I got to say it, but you'd be surprised out there. And I'm sure if you're an experienced eBay seller and you check the sold listings in some of these clothing categories, you're probably going, what is going on with these titles? Sometimes people put the brand at the end. That's not how eBay wants it. eBay has told us how they want their titles written. So we always want to start with brand first. The second word in the title after the brand is going to be the item type. So is it a sweatshirt? Is it a t-shirt? Is it a blouse? Is it a pair of pants? Is it a pair of jeans? Is it shorts? It sounds pretty basic, right? But you would be surprised. This is why I got to say it every Wednesday. It's brand, item type, and then after the item type, you get that figured out. You're going to be putting the gender. So men's, women's. What is it? So put the gender after your item type, and then you're going to put the size after the gender. I got to say it. You got to put the size. Don't just write S. Don't just write M for medium. Spell out the whole size. And after that is where you get to have fun with it. You get to actually pick the keywords that are relevant to your item. So is it a plaid shirt? Is it flannel? Is it preppy? Is it a vacation shirt? Is it a, you could use some of more of those trending keywords like cottagecore, cabin core, classic core, more of those trending keywords that you see on social media like TikTok, Instagram. So that's where you can have fun with it, and that's why it's really good to master the items that you're selling so you can develop really good keywords to accurately describe your item. So getting back into it, you got Dockers, long-sleeved men's, medium, red, white, and plaid. The good news here, Holly, is that you got started, you have good photos, you got items up, and now we just need to tweak your keywords in your title a little bit. That's it. So we want to go with brand, item, gender, size. So what is the item type? It's a shirt. So you would want to go Dockers, shirt, men's, medium, red, white, plaid. And you would put keywords like, this is a gingham plaid type shirt. And you're going to want to also put keywords like preppy, school, college. You could put pocket in there. You could put the material type, cotton blend. If it stretches a little, you could use stretch. Those are some other keywords that you'd want to put in there. So that's what I would suggest. Another suggestion too, I think the photos, the color and everything looks great. But I would also recommend getting a ruler or a yardstick. Link in the description. You can just buy the same one that I did on Amazon. I think it's like $4. And getting some measurements of the pit to pit and your collar to cuff measurement, and then your collar to hem measurement. Those are the main ones that you'd want to do for shirts. So your pit to pit, your collar to cuff, and then your collar to your hem measurement that's what you would use your yardstick for. It looks like you're putting things on a mannequin. I personally don't do that because it just takes me so much time. And shout out to all the people that use a mannequin. I applaud you. Great patience and persistence with that. But if I'm listing 50 items a day, I'm taking 500 to 600 photos a day. I don't have time to be even putting things on hangers, which is why I use a vertical flat lay over there with a nice fabric that has some friction so it can actually hold the garments in place, and I can take measurements and photos and just a really streamlined process. That's why I don't use a mannequin, and that's why I don't use just a straight up vertical hanging it on a nail, and because I need to take measurements. So that's what I would suggest. If you wanted to get faster, I would ditch the mannequin and have even some setup where you even have it on a table where it's a little bit elevated and you're able to take your photos and knock out your measurements there. I think the price looks fine. Dockers, that's what it's usually going to be going for. Heavily saturated category, by the way, but that's okay. $5.60 shipping. That sounds perfect. You got Dockers, plaid, multicolor, Right on. You got your item specifics. Good job. Your seller notes is gently worn, unable to find flaws. Good job. Nice, short and sweet condition. And a really good item description from yourself. That's very good. Gently worn, unable to find flaws, and this is great. Good job. Keep it short and simple. You want to see mine? It's basically the same. Good job. So that's mine. I want to make clear these bullet points. These are the things that I really would want the buyer to read, but they don't, right? And if you've sold on eBay for a while, you know that they hardly even read the title. They hardly even know what they're buying. So having this here is just a way to kind of reassure the buyer, like, hey, the clothing is stored in a pet and smoke-free environment. We do offer combined shipping discount for multiple item orders. I have twice in my listings at all times. Please note, item measurements are approximate. Previous washings may change the sizing. Please compare the measurements in the photos to ensure the proper fit. So you want to keep your item description pretty simple, pretty easy. I've seen many item descriptions, especially with the AI generated stuff now. It's basically just this big block of text that not a lot of buyers are going to be incentivized to read. So you want to just keep it simple when it comes to your item description, even just creating some type of template that you could just choose when you're doing that drop down menu in your item description. So just copy paste that template right in there. So good job. So measurements, working on the title for sure. And yeah, I would consider getting a yardstick, but price looks good. Not something I would continue to pick up Docker's long sleeve shirts, but yeah. So this title, similar. You got Pink Victoria's Secret. I think that's great because pink is related to Victoria's Secret, so that would be the brand. Pink Victoria's Secret tank top, women's size S/P, black, gray, and white. So I don't use any kind of apostrophes or any kind of abbreviations, anything like that in my titles. I want to just stick with the word and whatever the word is. So how I would rewrite this title is Pink Victoria's Secret shirt, women's, and I wouldn't put size. So I'd do Pink Victoria's Secret shirt, women's, small, and I would put black, and then I would put pullover, athleisure, tank top, sporty, stretch, cotton blend, scoop neck, spell out, logo, things like that. That's what I would do with my title. So Pink Victoria's Secret shirt, women's, small, black, and then fill them in with those relevant keywords. So if it's multiple colors, pick the dominant color that the item is, put that in the title, and then put that also in the item specifics. But yeah, consider, I know the mannequin is appealing to most people, but try also just without the mannequin. See how much faster you are. See if that works better for you. Because I know I would definitely be taking longer than it needed to be. Getting clothes in and off of this thing would just take too long. So shipping price is good, $18. Okay. And item specifics. I like that you're not going crazy on the item specifics because I think a lot of people can hang up a lot of their time when it comes to filling that stuff out. They go, well, I need the theme. Oh, but I need the character and I need the occasion and all these other things that, are important, but also eBay gives you the last 30 days of the search traffic of those item specifics. And if you start spending too much time on the ones that, have 1 or 2 or 3,000 people searching on all of eBay in the last 30 days, and you're figuring out what the theme is and all these other things that aren't really that important. So you really want to make sure you hit the ones that are important and the ones that do get searched the most with accuracy. So good job. You did that there. Very nice. So let's look at a few other of your listings. I think, getting some of your titles situated. You have some good keywords, but getting them in the right order is key. And then also, get a measuring stick because people want to know if this is going to even fit them, and how you can avoid future returns for doesn't fit is by adding in some measurements in there. LL Bean sweater, men's extra large. So you nailed the first most important part of title structure on this. Extra large, and then you put reg blue long sleeve pullover. So I wouldn't use any of those. I would do just how you have the title here, and then after the size, I would do Henley, I would do button, I would do waffle knit, I would do collared, blue. You could do classic core, which is a good keyword for like LL Bean, Eddie Bauer stuff. And then maybe cotton. So that's what I would work with. You could almost do grandpa core or old money as a keyword. But, with those heavy knit sweaters. $28.99 is a little high. I would price this between $19 and $24. $17 to $24. But yeah, and then I like to take about 8 to 12 photos per item. I think that's a sweet spot for me. Really covers all the grounds as far as measurements, material tag, any kind of defects that you'd want to point out. And you got buyer pays return shipping. Good job. Let's see. Item specifics look good. Yeah, so I really just think it's the thing that we can all be working on, even I, is going into our oldest listings first. So if you go into your seller dashboard, click on listings, and then sort from newest to oldest, then you can pick up all of your oldest listings and start working on 10 a day, 20 a day, and start structuring your titles, brand, item, gender, size, and then start plugging in some relevant keywords. And you go, Bo, I don't know any keywords. Well, that's where this list comes in. Vendoo recently did, not recently, but 4 months ago on April 25th, they did a good search on trending aesthetic keyword list. And this is something they're going to update from time to time. And it's really nice to know to use some trending keywords, especially if, Gen Z and the generations below me, at least, are using these keywords. I want to keep up to date and know what they're using. So if you type in Vendoo keywords into Google, you will have this list come up, and you can use a lot of these different aesthetics for the items that you have. So maybe you have some items that look like this. You can use the keyword minimalist. Minimalism, minimal, classic, simple, basic. Things like that. Preppy. Do you have a lot of Polo Ralph Lauren in your store? Preppy is a keyword I always use for Ralph Lauren stuff. Preppiness. You got preppy style, knit, academia, Ivy League, university, career. You got punk core. Do you got a lot of biker, punk looking stuff in your store with studs and high top shoes? Then you'd want to use punk core, punk fashion, punk style. You got a lot of rainbow colored stuff. Rainbow core. Yes, that is true. Retro glam. You got rocker, goth rock, skater, southwestern. So use this as you do your listings. Have it open on another tab when you do your listings, and that way you can have something to generate some more keywords for the items that you're selling. So this would be a perfect example of like grandpa core or even grandpa as a keyword. So I know grandma and grandpa sweaters are in right now. Everyone loves them. So that is something you could plug in some relevant keywords for. Let's see if you listed that in the right category. Yes, you did. So Texans football. So you did the title good here. I always start with the team first. So if you have any sports branded stuff, college football stuff, I always start with just the team first. I don't care if it's made by Nike or Russell or Under Armour. I don't use that. If I'm listing in the football category or the NCAA category, I always start with the team name first as the brand. So you did good here. You got Houston Texans NFL long sleeve women's size XL t-shirt bling football. Okay, so Houston Texans shirt women's XL, and then it would put NFL, NFL, bling, football, sports, long sleeve, cotton. You could do round neck, lightweight, athletic. So things like that. But you got the first part right, so good job. $8.55 shipping. I would ship this not first class, but Ground Advantage, what is formerly known as first class, because it's going to weigh less than a pound. And you want to remain competitive in your shipping prices, especially if you're selling kind of run-of-the-mill type clothing. So I would charge $6.95 at Ground Advantage shipping. That's just what I would do on this shirt here. You got Nautica button-down shirt, men's SCL. Yeah, you definitely don't want to use the word size, and you want to spell out the size. So you would spell out large. And another great keyword for this would be preppy. So you could plug that in. So it'd be Nautica shirt, men's large, and then you could do plaid, preppy, casual, 80s two-ply cotton, button-up, pockets, preppy, academia, things like that. Or even using the word button-up. So you got good pictures here, and you do have some measurements. So maybe some of the things we were looking at in your store were from when you first started. This measurement I like to take up here where the pit to pit is instead of like the waist measurement. So pit to pit measurement. And then you're going to want to do collar. This bottom base of the collar right here, not the top of the collar, right here. And then I measure that all the way to the bottom hem. And then when I measure the sleeve, I'm doing top of the collar all the way to the cuff, which we don't see it. But that's how I do those measurements, and just 3 of them for long sleeve shirts. So $10.99, that shipping or that price looks fine. I would probably charge like $14.95, maybe a little bit more. You definitely don't want to be underpricing your items, but you really got to know the market of these items that you are selling. Nautica, not the strongest brand. You got Tommy Bahama. That's a good one. So we got Tommy Bahama shirt, men's large or XL. That might be a little confusing. You're really going to have to check one or the other. And if it does not have a size tag, you will need to go to Google and type in men's t-shirt measurements so you could get a good idea of what the pit-to-pit measurement size is so you could figure out if it's a large or an extra large. And you'll also want to note that in the description of the item. But, yeah, it's okay. You know, the great part about all this is that you don't have thousands of items to go and fix. And if clothing is something you want to get more niche down into, I would just go in and start working on 10 listings a day and start putting as many keywords as you can in the titles, because eBay gives us 80 characters to use, and I suggest using as many of those as you can. Since eBay's algorithm is based off of search, you want to be able to plug in as many keywords into your title as possible. So don't cut yourself short on that. And going in and structuring all your titles the same: brand, item, gender, size, and then plugging in some relevant keywords. So for the most part, though, your store is very healthy. It's probably because you are selling a little bit of everything, which is great. You got 500 items listed, and you're selling like 3 or 4 a day. So good job, especially for being a part-time or a hobby reseller. You know, I read your email, which was great. I got a good insight into where you're coming from. And if you guys do want an eBay store review, it's going to prompt you to sign up for the list, and that holds your spot. But also, when you email me, give me a little backstory and history as to what you're doing and what your plan is, what your vision is, so I can kind of help you in that situation. Because if I don't get that info, it's hard for me to help you from here on, have some dialogue when you sign up for the store review. I want to be able to continue to help you, not just a one and done thing. So if you do sign up for an eBay store review, you get more than just a review. You get, me kind of holding you accountable to see if you even make some of these adjustments in your store. But great job. With your schedule and everything. I think just having a goal that you're going to set for yourself that you can hit and be consistent on is so important, even if that's just 1 listing a day. But being able to build that momentum up in your store is crucial to developing good habits. But, 533 items, you're just getting going. Correct what you got now and then continue to sell similar off your items as you correct some of these listings. So good job. I want to get into the chat. I did not forget about anybody here. What's going on, William? Hi, Bo. Thanks for all the information. It has helped me a lot with my eBay store. Appreciate that. This is why I do it. I do these videos to just help in any way possible. And maybe not all of this information applies to you. That's fine. It's okay. My goal is to not help everyone. And if I could just help one person, I've done my job. So I'm just really wanting to bring as much value of what I've learned in the last few years on eBay and just to be able to help you guys take that correct step forward. So I appreciate that, William. Love doing these eBay store reviews because it gives me an opportunity to learn as well, as far as what people are doing and what people are doing right and what people should be maybe changing up in their store. So Mike asks, how do you get store reviewed? So you can either check linked in the description down below, or I pinned a comment right here, and that will take you to a sign-up sheet. And the only reason why I did that is because months back, I was doing these store reviews, and I was losing people's places in which who was next for a store review, and I was losing people's store. And I didn't like that. And people would contact me, hey, I've been on the store review sheet for a while and I haven't got an opportunity. So now we have an official sign up sheet where it actually keeps track of who's next. So, but yeah, I appreciate that. Helps support the channel. And my goal is to really help get you guys on the right track doing an eBay store review. Okay, you see the link. Appreciate it. What's going on, James? If you guys are watching and you're not familiar with Bold Finds, check out his channel. He does some great stuff. Also has another channel called Bold Lives where he interviews other resellers. He's based out of the UK, but wherever you're at, I think a lot of the principles still apply. So check out his channel. Good to see you, brother. Great Deals Depot. Received your book. Great book. Thank you. Yeah, appreciate that. I do have an item specifics book based on all the clothing item specifics on eBay, found in linked in the description. You can either get the ebook or the hardcover copy. People have been really loving it, and I was surprised. We're on week 7 of release, and like 220 some copies sold. So greatly appreciate the support from you guys. I made that book because that's something that I wanted when I first started. I had to do all the research for all of these varieties of clothing item specifics using Google. And sometimes you don't always get the accurate information when you're jumping from website to website just to look up what is a balloon sleeve, So yeah, the book is good. All that info is aggregated for you guys, especially if you're a beginner. Can be a little overwhelming. Tango Collection says, hello there. When you say 18 to 24 pictures per listing, I was only able to put 14 pictures on my listing. Yeah, so 18 to 24, you are definitely kicking butt if you're doing that, but I only do 8 to 12 pictures per listing. If I need to do more, I'll do more, but usually it's like average 8 to 12 photos per clothing item. So yeah, and eBay just recently updated that from 12 to 24 about a year ago. So you should be able to put up to 24 photos. Tango Collections. What's going on, Holly? Good to see you. Yeah, good stuff. I read your email. You're doing great. Considering you're working full time. You have a family, and eBay may not be your number one priority right now, but you have stuff up. You have decent stuff up. So now it's just kind of fixing a few things. You don't want to fix too many things at once, but I would first focus on titles. Just focus on titles. Focus on fixing 10 titles a day, your oldest listings first, and then you can start to develop more of a system for reworking a lot of those titles. But good work. Montse, how's it going? You have helped me a lot, Bo. My business has changed 360. Oh, nice. Good. 360. Yeah, that's good. You're doing great. You guys are doing great. Hope you're still doing Amazon too, or I know that's, probably just like a side task or, not really so important like eBay is, but yeah, good to see you. And I appreciate that. Yeah, so many ways to make money online. So, but I love eBay the most. Tejera. I hope I said that right. Just got my copy 3 days ago. Nice. Oh, okay. I remember that name. Okay, good job. Appreciate it. I'm so thankful. Yeah, the book is really made for people that are starting out. When I first started out, I knew long sleeve, short sleeve, and pants and shorts. That was like my vocabulary for clothing. So I would say if you order the book and you read it from front to back, you'll probably be in like the top 10% as far as identifying even different dress styles, different sleeve types, the difference between chino, khakis, denim, selvage, all these different varieties that eBay throws at you. Um, I actually learned a lot making the book as well. So, but yeah, thank you guys. Appreciate that. Tango Collections. Okay, I misheard you. Yeah. So yeah, 8 to 12 is good. Just got the book 3 days ago. Quality book. Okay, awesome. Appreciate you guys. Yeah, my goal is to really just bring what I got. What's working in my business and what's not working in my business. What's working, if you haven't seen my past few videos, is that I haven't done my markdown sale first time in 2.5 years, and I'm starting to see some of those older items behind me over in these tubs start selling for full price now. I haven't seen a decrease in sales by not running my markdown sale, but now I'm seeing those things sell for actually their full price, or they use a coupon on that. Another thing that works for me right now, recently this month, is going from a 30% off coupon to a 20% off coupon. I'm actually seeing more sales through that coupon than I was with the 30% off coupon. Strange, right? What's not working for me is kind of some sourcing mishaps. I started the Green Threads clothing recycling company just the last couple, about 6 weeks ago. I've done maybe 10 pickups so far, and I have to say one of those was a hit and 9 of them were complete failures. So I'm probably going to tweak that business model up a bit and go back to what I originally started, was the We Buy Clothes, where we actually pick up clothing depending on what you have. So I have a brand list tied with that clothing company, to where I'll post in buy and sell groups, and I will go and buy people's clothing if it falls on the brand list. Whereas the previous model that I was just talking about was mainly just we pick up what clothing you want to discard. And yeah, you're going to find a lot of trash, junk, kids' clothes. And I just don't have time for that. I don't have time to be sorting through that stuff. But I'm sure it varies from, wherever you live. So yeah, sourcing, still trying to nail down whether I want to keep buying wholesale, have it shipped to me, fill in with a little bit of the bins, and then still continuing retail and online arbitrage. I have a bunch of Crocs I ordered here from the Kohl's clearance sale. So I'm just really trying to bring in better items into my store. So that's what's working and what's not working. What's working is the listers. So praise God. I have 2 listers working for me. One lister is mainly cross-listing through Vendu to all my items to Poshmark. I've made 14 sales on Poshmark in last 14 days, which is not crazy good, but it's something. And I only have about 1,000 items, 1,100 on Poshmark. So my whole goal is to transfer 9,800 items from eBay, that is all clothing, to Poshmark and see how that goes. So that's kind of just, I'm rambling on what's working. There's more stuff working than not working, so that's great. Yeah, if you guys are maybe needing an extra help, what's going on, Josh? Good to see you. Appreciate you. Thanks for coming in. Yeah, so starting on eBay can be tough. Starting any reselling business can be difficult, which is why Marcus Dixon and I have started this reseller mentorship with the goal and vision to help people get on their road to 6 figures. Because I feel like once you can hit 6 figures in sales, you can start to alter your path. You can maybe go from that full-time job to that part-time job. Maybe that's enough for you to quit your full-time job. So the Road to 6 Figures group is a membership that we have a 7-day free trial right now where over 54 other members are growing their stores, just applying the same tips and strategies that Marcus and I used to do about $320,000 in sales on eBay last year. Included in that is a reseller spreadsheet, lifelong store reviews. So you get more than one store review, you get multiple to kind of guide you along your guys' process, as well as a BOLO brand list, item specifics guide, and hundreds of hours of pre-recorded calls. So we work with you 9 hours a week via Zoom. He does the morning call, I do the evening call, and really have fun in the community. It's really all about community, and I feel like as a whole, we're all better together. I learned from so many people in this group about what to buy, what not to buy, what's working for them, and what's not working for them. And being in a part of community with like-minded individuals is a key to your success. You can watch everything. You can watch all the YouTube. You can listen to all the podcasts. But if you are doing it together, being held accountable by other people, you really feel like you're a part of something. And when you say you are going to do something, we hold you accountable to doing it. So that's the key. And that is really our vision with the group. And you could just try it, see if you like it. If not, just cancel before the 7 days. It is okay. So I appreciate y'all. If you guys are catching this on the replay and you maybe have some questions, well, I'll answer them. Just leave them in the comment section down below. Before we get off, William had a last question. Do you use the immediate pay feature on eBay to help prevent the buy it now lag? No, I don't use the immediate pay feature. The reason being is that I often get multiple quantity orders, and if that buyer wants to pay for multiple items, then they're going to have to pay shipping on top of all that, and then I'll have to go back into the transaction and refund the difference in shipping. So I actually leave that off, and I am at my actually lowest awaiting payments. I have 6, which has never been below 10 for like the longest time. I have 6 awaiting payments, which is amazing. That is amazing because I'm usually at 10 to 20 at all times. So, yeah, I don't use the immediate pay feature. So I know some people do. I don't. I think if you have thousands of items, it's best to maybe turn that off in the hopes that someone will buy multiple items so you can give them a deal on shipping. Appreciate that, James. Like on the way out, people, great value. Appreciate you. Got to have you on the podcast soon. See what your plans are for Q4. Yeah, so like I was saying, if you guys are catching this on the replay and you had any questions about a store review or just what I'm even doing here, just drop it in the comments. I'll be happy to help you answer your questions in the next video. So I hope you all have a blessed week, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care.